Um, so there's a super interesting book, no math, lots of history, but completely fascinating history called The Algorithm That Wouldn't Die, maybe? Let me just double check. I have absolutely no trouble recommending that because it is fantastic.
Nice.
All right, let's see. We got
The
got
theory
the
that
YouTube
would
video.
not die.
It's a theory. Okay. Oh yeah, by Sharon.
Sharon Birch McGrady
And
or
what
something?
theory is that? What theory
It's
is that?
Bayes theory.
Oh,
Oh, you say it like it's a bad thing. It is not a bad thing.
That's cool. Oh, I think you talked about this last time, or not last time, but you
Oh,
talked about
he
this
talks
last
about it every time.
time. Okay. I just didn't have a. I finally decided to just get the Audible one that's like gives you like 20 credits a year or something.
Uh huh.
So I drive so much. I was like, you know what? Let's get some books I can listen to.
Although it's kind of heavy. A story that would not die.
It is not heavy. It is fascinating history. Which, putting those two words together seems, incongruent to me. Um, but it is remarkable. Um, totally understandable, and a whole bunch of stuff you didn't know. And in fact, I had three heroes. My heroes are in order Feynman, Shannon, and Girdle. And this added a fourth hero. And that hero
Wait, wait,
is
wait, wait a minute. I'm not in there.
You're like
Come on,
waiting for your
come on.
name.
I don't even know how to respond to that. But it added
There's only one accurate response. Oh, I'll add you right now. I'll add you right now. Sorry.
I added a fourth hero, and that hero is Laplace. So it's a great book. I do not hesitate to recommend it.
I got in here a little late. What's the book you recommend?
The Theory That Would Not Die.
Ah, okay. I'll make a note of that.
Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Jim?
Really good. Really good. Oh, look at that. 6:41 already. We should get started. We got a lot to do tonight. So let's see. Am I ready?
Well, looking at the description, it looks fascinating.
Of the book?
Yeah, the book, the Enigma Code. Uh,
Let's see.
correct, the Enigma Code.
Yeah, Bayes is awesome and strongly related to the first book I was talking about, the one recommended by Jay, which is called Thinking Fast and Slow. Um, and I learned a couple of fantastic phrases from that book. One is called convergence. No, never mind. Forget it. I'll talk later.
Okay, we should get started with
Jim,
this meeting.
Right.
Jim,
Right.
I suggest we may have a different segment to add to the normal routine here.
Uh,
Suggested types of books and media and
we
stuff.
should do a little section books and podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that would be really nice. Maybe spend a couple of minutes every month where people can talk about their books and their podcasts and whatever else.
That sounds
Would be
great.
good. And maybe like blogs or something too. All right, so let's get started. Welcome to the March 2026 mug meeting. Tonight we've got a really good one. Well, they're always good, right? But this one I'm real excited about. The main topic we're going to be doing Advent of Code. I think this is our third year doing it. Does that sound right? Wolf?
Maybe. I think that's right.
I'm thinking, yeah. Our third year of doing Advent of Code, where we take the first problem and we ahead of time create some solutions in your favorite programming language. And we've got at least a couple of them tonight. I know Wolf did Rust, I did Perl, Jay did Go, Dave did Swift, and I'm not sure what else we have. Jim, did you do one? Jim Peterson.
I did Python, but I didn't post it. So
That's fine if you don't post it. Just
yeah.
at the end of the meeting, if you want to send it to me, I can commit it, or you can do a pull request if you want.
I'll
It's
do
nice to
that.
gather them all together
Okay.
for later.
hmm
So that's our main topic. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. We got a short topic too. We're going to talk about LSOF. That's the utility list open files. It's something I use rarely, but when I do, it really helps. And I'm hoping that some of you guys use it, and we can have a little discussion about it, different ways in which you use it. So I'm kind of hoping that for those guys that have never seen it before, they learn something, and for those guys that have used it, they can teach us something. I mean, I'm not sure I can show that much, but it's a cool little tool. But before we get into either one of those, we got just a little bit of mug business. We'd like to start out with Dave talking about becoming a member. Dave,
Yeah.
there he is.
So this is, as we say every month, this is a completely open organization, and these are completely open meetings, and absolutely everybody is welcomed enthusiastically. That is, with or without memberships. We do have an opportunity to be for you to be a dues paying member. And there was a time when we really needed that badly because we had to rent a room and that cost money. And so we needed dues um, to pay for the room. Our needs these days are much lower. They're not zero, but they're much lower. And so we still have the opportunity to be a full member, dues paying member. It's $50. Used to be $50 a year, but since we don't really need all that much money these days, it's $50, and the year just keeps kind of extending out
It's
one
the
month at
longest
a
year.
time until we ever get to the point where we need more money, and then we'll do something else. But for now, we aren't calling it a lifetime membership because we may need to do something different in the future. But the memberships are not expiring now. If you would like to be a dues paying member and just get all the benefits that go with being one of the in crowd that's just paying the bills and doing the going ons. And we have coming up, I think next month, don't we, Jim?
That's right. Elections.
Election of the board. So theoretically, you get to vote for who's on the board next month. and you can become a board member.
That's
And
right.
we probably should put out a call for anybody who would like to become a board member to volunteer themselves. Or if you know somebody else that you're kind of ticked at today, you can volunteer them. And you can go to the website and do it with PayPal or contact Dick Williams and he'll find some other way. If you're still into small unmarked bills or something like that, it's $50.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Small number.
website is payment@mug.org. Fairly simple.
If you go to PayPal, you mean? That's what you use, payment
Yeah.
at mug.org?
Yeah. Payment@mug.org.
And a quick question: it's normal that you don't get like a confirmation or anything?
Did you do it and not get a confirmation?
Yeah, I didn't get an email or anything, but I sent it.
How long ago?
More than 90 days. Let me see.
Hmm.
So it's not.
Dick, can you look up Roller Angel and see if he's in the database as being paid up?
It was October 14th.
Hang on.
He'll check the database.
Okay.
So while he's doing that, upcoming meetings, the one we currently have scheduled next month, that would be April 14th, day before tax day. A couple of things going on. We got the election for the board of directors. And then the main presentation currently is scheduled to be me giving a talk about containers. I've got a lot of experience with Docker, not so much with the others, but we did a podcast episode that came out last Saturday on containers for our Runtime Arguments podcast. And it came out pretty well, so this is going to be an expanded live version of that. The thing about a podcast is it's audio only, so we can't really show anything. But in the mug meeting, we'll be able to show all kinds of cool stuff and try things, and take interactive input from the crowd, and I think you'll enjoy it. So that's April 14th. See, we don't have anything scheduled past that. I'm going to reach out to some of our old standbys to see if they would like to talk. And if you guys have any ideas or would like to talk, please let us know. Every month we need something, so that would be great. Other groups in the area, Gib, you still doing MD Lug?
Yes, still doing MD Lug. It's still the same group of 5 or 6 people, and
Yeah.
it's still the second Saturday of the month at noon. And you can still find the website at mdlug.org. And I posted the link on the chat. So you just click on that and find out more information. But it's just generally people getting together and talking about tech stuff.
Excellent. Thank you. I don't see anybody here from Semco. The usuals, Sharon or Richard Jackson. Anybody want to say anything about Semco? I haven't been to their group in years. You can go to semco.org, semco.org for details of their upcoming meeting. Let me just take a quick peek. Yeah, let's see, March 8th, that was 2 days ago, they had a meeting, so I don't know. All you want to know about the dark web, that would have been interesting. I don't see an announcement for next month yet, but check their website. They always have really cool talks. And then, of course, our Lansing guys, Joe Ryan from Lansing, he's not here tonight. He had something else that he needed to take care of. But they've got a group out there in Lansing. I think if you want details, you can go to the MUG website and look at what is the, let's see, let me get on there. Groups. Yeah, the Lansing Codes. If you just Google for Lansing Codes, you'll find that. And there's a bunch of other groups listed on our website. You can check that out. Go to mug.org/groups and find out about that. So I think we can jump into the little mini presentation or topic, LSOF. I'll be happy to share my screen, but I'm counting on you guys to help drive this thing. Let's see, share. How do I share? It's right there. I want to share that screen. Okay. See my screen?
Yep.
Is that font big enough?
I can read it.
Okay. Is that good for you guys? Okay, list open files. So anytime I use it, I have to, I always have to look at the man page on how to do it. But one of the things I use it for a lot is if I want to unmount a mounted file system. I like to, you can mount file systems like anywhere you want, but /MNT is a commonplace. But I mount file systems under /SRV. That's where I put my databases and stuff. And occasionally I need to unmount a file system. Maybe I want to mount it someplace else. And you ever do that? You try to unmount a file system and you can't because the file system is busy. That means somebody is using it. Let me show you. I'm just going to log into a machine that I know the file system is busy on.
I ran into that the other day. I was deleting a user, and I was trying to erase their ZFS spool.
Yeah.
And the mailer, the spooler or whatever from the mailer. So that's what was causing it to fail.
Yeah. Oh, shoot, let me get.
The biggest thing that I use it for is for looking at processes and seeing what specific processes has open. That's huge for debugging.
Yeah. Another handy way to get that information is the proc file system. I've started using that more. But I like if I try to unmount. See, I've got a directory here /backup. If I try to unmount. That's let me type it right. If I try to unmount, let's try this. Hang on a second. It's not actually a separate file system. Try to unmount that. You get devices busy, so you do a / an LSOF on that directory, and it shows me there's a user has their current working directory in that directory. So I can't I can't unmount that because that user is still logged in and their current working directory is that directory. It shows their PID. So if I want to kill them off, I can just kill that. What else does it show? Let's see. Let me do another one here. Well, the served directory itself is if I try to unmount /serve, can't. So LSOF, should have lots of things open on it. That's where my database is. So yeah, you see there's all these, that's where my Postgres database is. I'm not going to go killing those things off.
No.
That would be a bad idea. That's a production database. So that's what I use it for. And like Scott said, he used it to see processes. Like I just showed all the processes. In fact, that's this number here. Like this process has lots of things open on that. If file system. That's a whole file system that I'm checking. You can do it on individual files, right?
So
Scott, what arguments do you use when you try it? Just the plain old
I just
LSOF?
I just use LSOF minus P and then the process ID, the number.
Oh, so you're looking at it from a well, let's take this process ID. LSOF minus lowercase p.
Lowercase p, yeah.
I get basically the same thing because
Yeah.
it's going to show me all the files that process has open.
But it'll show you like dev mem. It'll show you what libraries it's got open. It's really good when you're trying to debug.
Yeah.
You've got some process that's off in the reads, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out what the heck it's doing. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
a real lifesaver.
Yeah, well, this process is Postgres. That's got way too many things open.
Yeah.
But if you can see, I reduced my font a little bit so you can see it better. I don't know if you can still read, but it shows it's got dev null open. It's got a pipe, a FIFO pipe, a couple of pipes open.
Yeah.
Um,
If it's got sockets open, it'll tell you where it's got a socket open too.
yeah, yeah.
I only use LSOF like once every couple of months, but boy,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you need it, it's like owning a truck, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
most of the time you
Yeah.
can get along without a truck, but when you need to pull a stump, boy, there's
Right.
nothing else like it, right? And it's the same thing with LSOF.
Yeah.
It-
So here it's showing a whole bunch of shared libraries that it has open. Anybody else?
yeah,
Everything they want to add to it?
so on FreeBSD we have sockstat and
Yeah.
you do sockstat-4L and it'll show you all the listening,
I could.
IPv4.
Yeah, I
So-
could install it.
Well, when I'm not on FreeBSD, I use LSOF,
Okay.
and I can tell LSOF show me -i4, and that'll show me the IPv4 stuff.
Ah,
So just do LSOF -i4, and then do space, and then if you want to just do TCP listen, you can do -s, capital TCP : listen, in all caps, and then that'll
Okay.
show you just what's listening.
oh, neat. I use Netstat for that, and that's always a pain in the ass.
And then if you want just the port numbers, you can do capital P instead of those names.
Oh,
Yeah, just throw a capital P in there.
yeah. So it doesn't show the. Let's see where it doesn't show the service name like
Yeah.
that. It shows the the port number.
Yeah,
That's okay. I'm writing that one down.
yeah. That's what my main use of it is like I want to see what's listening on this server because I thought it was supposed to be listening on something. And yeah, I'm like you, Netstat or whatever. It's got so much stuff going on there. You're like, oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not even the preferred way
Well, and
anymore.
the syntax is different depending on what Linux you're on. Like, there's so many different versions
yeah.
of Netstat where you
Oh,
just
yeah.
throw your hands up in the air. Like,
Yeah,
what is
'cause
this
I'm on-
program? It has the same
Yeah.
name, but it's completely different every time I use it.
Yeah, I'm always on the Linux I'm on is always Ubuntu or
Yeah.
Debian, so that's going to be the same mostly. But I'm also on a Mac, and Netstat on the Mac is different than
Oh, yeah.
Netstat on Linux. But I do see that on the Mac we do have LSOF -i4-s TCP. Yeah, let me I'll get back to my Mac here and I'll run that same command. Let me clear the screen and do that. Yeah, so I got all kinds of, I got some TCP and some UDP, some ICMP. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I like that.
good little trick because it's pretty stable. Like LSOF on anything is pretty much the same. It doesn't. It's
Yeah,
not too different.
yeah.
Except obviously, it looks like on the Mac it doesn't respect that TCP only thing, but because you specified
yeah, because
dash,
I told it
yeah,
-S TCP, but it's showing UDP and ICMP.
yeah.
Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Is there a -I6? And does it do what you would expect? Yes, it does. Well, yeah, it does.
Oh, right,
It
because some
does.
stuff's listening on Star,
Yeah,
which would be
yeah.
bold.
So there's an IPv6 address that it's. That's the address on my side, right? Looks like it. Yeah, that's neat. Anybody else want to add to the possible features of LSOF? Let's just do a quick man page on it.
Yeah, so I can,
Sorry?
Jim, I got a couple of examples of use
Okay.
cases for this that have been useful in my experience. One was you want to figure out who's using software, and basically that's kind of hard to do at times. So we had this one system, the application locked a file, and people would stay in that file, and we wanted to find out who's using it. So we were pushing new
Right.
versions of software, and we had to basically
Yeah.
shut down the system and do a backup and kick everybody off and that sort of thing. I said, well, you don't have to do this. We can just create the new version, point everything to that new version, and then as people just normally log off and log back on through the day, they'll get the
Right.
new version. Well, there was a problem that there's some people who never logged off. They stayed on the system all the time and just walked away, came back the next day. And so we were able to figure out who those people were. The bosses didn't want us to just kick people off because they might be doing something important or they might get keyed up.
Sure.
So that was really helpful. The other thing was finding out who's using certain versions of software. So as we push new versions of software, or they use software on their PCs that were maybe appropriate or not the appropriate versions, we could find out that. So when they log on with like an emulator, there's information that the system, the server picked up on what emulator they were using, and we can determine, are they using an emulator that's the version that we purchased, or are they going off it on their own and using non-purchase? And so we got sued by some of these companies who were saying, you're using versions of our software that you haven't paid for. And they were suing us for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there was no way you could figure out how to do this. So I wrote a routine that basically went out and found out who was using the new versions and not paying for it. And, we're able to prevent the company from getting sued even
Oh,
more.
that's neat. That's
Yeah.
neat. I'll looking at what files. What did you have? The version number in the file name, so you could see it that way.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's neat.
So
All right.
I was just looking at the docs. You know how we did that -P where you can look up the PID of
Yeah.
like Postgres, for instance.
Yeah.
If you add just a -I to that, it'll show you what network that program is listening on. So you do just -P the PID and then -I, and it'll show you.
I don't think that's quite right. I think it was showing it before. The I is a selector. So if his P before did show the network.
Well, the -P. No.
P and then a PID.
And then
the PID of your Postgres.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Let me get back on that machine. It's the easiest way for me to get the PID. LSOF -P, that number, -I.
Yep, just like that.
So what is that showing me? That's
and better? It's weird. Yeah,
it's showing you the same thing as before.
Yeah.
The I is the inverse, right? So if you had your Postgres or anything listening on a port, you could say -I colon and then the port, and it will filter. It'll look through all the
Oh,
processes
cool.
and tell you. So
Oh,
like
so
one thing I
you
noticed when Jim was showing us this before, because I was going to ask him, Jim, run LSOF -I colon 53.
okay?
Let's
But I
try
already
that.
noticed that it's not going to show you anything. So you don't have a local DNS resolver on this server.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's a good way to check what's listening on a port. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's right. This would tell you if you
Yeah.
had DNS mask or some other local DNS cache on here.
Oh, there you go. Wait. Okay. So this is I ran that. You guys, let me just do this. So I've got Postgres running, listening. I guess IPv4 and IPv6.
And
Interesting.
you can see
It's
there
running
that
in
it's
it's running
yeah.
in a Docker container.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's actually okay. It's actually Docker that's listening because Docker is proxying that connection into my Postgres. This Postgres here, that's the port number. So if I did a -P, dash capital P, right? It's going to show me 5432 instead. That's a very handy thing.
Yeah, and then
Instead of Netstat.
apparently, if you do -I and then you do the and an IP address, it'll show you the connections to that IP address. I don't know how we would
Yeah.
check that, unless you need the IP address of your Postgres server.
-I at?
Yeah, and then just an IP address, and it should show you what's connected to it.
Okay, I'll get an IP address.
Maybe like the DNS resolver or something.
Yeah,
Or 127.0.0.1.
Oh, right. Localhost.
Here's an IP address for you. Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no space after the
no,
at.
yeah, take the space. Apparently nothing's connected to that.
Should be lots of things connected. Anyway, I can play around with that. But you said 127. Yeah. Stat D. Okay.
Do a watch on it.
That's neat. Yeah, a watch on this one.
Yeah. And then browse in another window.
Yeah.
Oh, but that server is remote.
Yeah, they're all everything I'm doing here is remote. There we go. I SSH'd, and there it shows it. Cool.
Oh, cool.
That is cool.
It's interesting that it's not showing my database connections. I wonder why that is. Because that machine at .35 has got a bunch of database connections open to Postgres on that server. Anyway, that's pretty neat.
Usually you have to see an open and closed session before it actually registers.
Oh, maybe
okay.
it's just idling here.
Let's try this.
Stuck open.
I just opened a connection. It's still not showing. Anyway, I don't want to drag this on too long. That's is a very helpful command. I like that. Let me just write down that other one. LSOF -I @. That's pretty neat. See? Learned something. Okay. Anybody else want to comment before we move on to the next thing? No? Okay. All right, let me close that guy off. Okay. We are going to move on to the big thing then. We're talking about advent of code. How many I'm going to stop sharing for a minute so I can see all these users here. How many people actually did the Advent of Code thing? Can you raise your hand? There's Gib literally raising his hand.
Where's the hand raiser? I don't
Somewhere there's a thing.
I'll look for it.
Anyway,
Well, I'm raising
or
my
just
hand.
say something. Yeah, just say that you did. So let's see, Wolf certainly did. I did. Yeah, React. Okay, there we go. Got a few others. Oh, jeez. Look at that. James Shaw did a thumbs down. Does that mean he didn't do it? It's okay. This wasn't a requirement. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen again, and I will show you my implementation. Share, do that one. Okay, how's this? All right, so we have a GitHub repository for this stuff. If you go to GitHub mug.org, you can check out our repository. I think currently just mine and Wolf's are the only ones that are out there. And if you do have a solution, you can either clone the repo and do a pull request so we can get it in there, or you can just send it to me, and I'll be glad to commit it to the repo. Again, it's not required, but it'd be nice to take all these solutions we talk about tonight and put them up there for others to see. So I did it in Perl. That's my username right there. And I did the day one, and that's where I'm at right now. And I did 1A and 1B. It's just the first part and the second part. And there's my sample data, and that's my big data file. So let me show you the sample, or the 1A. That's it. That's my whole program. It shouldn't be too hard to follow. I take the file name on the command line. And if you remember the rules of the Advent of Code thing, you start with it's a combination lock that has 0 to 99 as the ticks on the think of those old master locks. This goes from 0 to 99, and it was like 2 weeks ago that I solved this thing. So let me go to let's see I just want to take a look at the rules again so that I can. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically, there's. Let's look at the cat data. That's the sample file, and the idea is you've got this combination lock that goes from 0 to 99, and if you turn it right, that's going positive. If you turn it left, it's going backwards, and the data is a direction followed by a number. And the direction is L, so that you turn it left, 68 ticks. And then you turn it left again, 30 ticks. Then you turn it right, 48 ticks. And then left 5, and so on.
Hey,
and what
Jim,
they want you to do,
Jim,
yeah.
Did you get that left and right wrong? This always turns my head around.
No,
If
I got
you
it right.
turn it left, that means
Yeah.
the numbers,
Negative.
the tick numbers are going up.
Goes down. Well, the tick numbers, yeah, but when you're going left, you're subtracting. That's the way I
Left
think of it.
means counterclockwise.
Yeah. Yeah, you're turning it counterclockwise. And
That
so
would
if you
mean
were
the
on
numbers are-
50 and you went,
If it was on 50 and you went left 1, it would be on 51.
that
No,
would be on 49.
correct.
Is that where
Now-
you got hung up?
Now, don't ask me the same thing, but using east and west, because that one I'll get wrong.
Okay, now here's the thing. If you're consistently wrong,
Left goes
if you
counterclockwise.
yeah, so it's going negative. But if as
No.
long as you're consistent about it, if you always go the same direction when you go left, and you always go the other direction when you go right, you get the same result.
Draw
Oh, you
yourself
do.
a pic. Well, okay.
Yeah, because you start
go
on 50.
We don't agree. Go on.
Oh, you get the
Uh,
same number. Okay.
Sure,
Unless you
because you
go
start on
past
50. That's at the
100.
bottom.
If you go
I'm
past
not sure I
100, then you
believe
just go.
that.
Actually, no, you wouldn't, because 50 isn't the middle. 49 is the middle, isn't it?
I
Well,
don't know if it matters what the middle is. I just don't believe your original statement.
no, I'm probably wrong.
I feel like going left gets you to Los Angeles and going right gets you to Miami. And those are two different places,
Okay.
even if the world is round.
But all you're trying to count is how many times you hit zero.
Well,
Right?
think if your
Anyway.
if your data file or your sample input was just one entry, that first L68,
Yeah.
going left would not give you the same answer as going right.
But the thing you just said about the number of times you pass zero, I think that might be right.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, let's not
that might
let's
be
not
right,
debate
yes.
that. We could try that when we get further along. So anyway, that's the idea. You turn it to the left or counterclockwise 68 ticks. You turn it left 30 ticks. And what they want to do in the first part of the puzzle is how many times did you
Land
end up
on.
at zero? Yeah. How many times did you end up at zero after one of your moves? And this is where when we get into the second part, it gets a little more complex. So that's my data set, right? If I look at my code, I'm reading each line of input. I'm using a regular expression to pull out the L or R, and then some number of digits, right? So that becomes my direction and my count. And if the direction is left, I subtract count from my current. Remember, my count started at 50, so I subtract 68 from it, and I end up at what, negative 18. So then I have this little loop here to get it back to positive. So I get it back to positive by constantly adding 100 to it while my current value is less than zero. So that's how I
Don't
get
you
it
have
back.
mod?
I didn't feel like doing the math. I'm not
Wait,
doing it in
mod
Debug.
is an operator. You don't have the mod operator?
I do. This is how I solved it. I'll be happy to have you show us how you solved it with mod. When you turn right, now you're adding to your current value, right? And then you don't want to be, the numbers only go from 0 to 99, so you certainly don't want to be 100 or higher, so you keep on subtracting 100 from it until you get back within range. And after that move, like every line is a move, right? After that move, you after each move, then you want to see if you're at zero, and if you are, you increment your zero counter. When you've all done, when you've exhausted all your input data, you print out the combination is your count. So if I run this thing, combination is 3, and that's what the documentation says. All right. If you did it, because the dial points at 0 a total of 3 times, the password is 3, and that's what I came up with. Now the other one, the 1B, is slightly more complex. This one, you want to count every time you tick, every time you hit 0. So you're going to hit 0 going in either direction if you add or subtract enough, right? So that's what that's what I'm doing here. I'm still looping through the data the exact same way. I'm still pulling out my direction and my count using this regular expression. That hasn't changed. I still check for direction left or direction right, but within there now, I start ticking through my dial on my combination lock, 1 to that number of count times. So L 68. I'm going to actually do 68 ticks. I'm going to subtract 1 each time, and if I end up below 0, then I add 100 to it. And every time I hit 0, now I increment my counter. So that's doing it per tick, where the previous example or the previous solution was at the end of the move, did we end up at 0? This one is after each tick, did we hit 0? And that's what I'm counting, my 0 count. Same thing going right, only we're adding instead of subtracting. So if I run that, 1b.pl, data, it's 6, and that's what the documentation says it should be. Comments? I'm anxious to see how Wolf did it. Anybody have questions about the Perl implementation?
Did you run it on the actual data set?
Yeah, I can.
But we get different numbers, don't we?
So it doesn't matter.
You have a different
there's my data set. I get 999, and when I run the B version, I get 6099, and both those numbers are correct.
Okay,
So again,
Jim,
there's
because you're good and fast at this, change the left and rights on that, and see if you get the same result.
Change the left and rights.
Change the direction.
That's a neat suggestion.
Right here, just change this to be an R.
Yeah, and the one, to be an L.
Well, that's a simple example.
Do
right?
Do it for the big file.
Yeah. I got to make sure.
Right.
Let's see, data. We got that. That's still correct. Let's see if I still get the same result. Yeah.
That's why it was important to start on 50. You know what? This guy who makes, I'm not sure who makes these up, but to get this in a way that it can be a little bit forgiving, and the data that he provides as samples is really ingenious.
Okay, so Jim, do that though. Change it to 55. The starting point to 55, and see if that's going to make a difference.
It will make a difference.
I'm not sure it will. No, it did. It changed it.
Well,
you got to try it the other way too.
But I got to try it the other way. So now we're at 6092. Is that what that says?
Oh, right. So put it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get different results.
Does make a difference.
The starting point does matter.
And whether our understanding of left and right does matter as well.
Yes.
But I'm going to change it just by 1.
Right. Yeah. It only matters if the starting point is not 50 in terms of left and right.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so does anybody out there have a combination lock? I don't have one, I don't think.
I know what you're saying, Dave. When you turn it left, the numbers increase. Yeah. Counterclockwise, the numbers increase.
The numbers are increasing.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Oh, you're
combination lock.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
The numbers are increasing.
We're thinking of a number line, which decreases when you go left.
You're right.
I'm thinking of what the pointer points at.
Right.
Like there's an arrow.
Yeah.
No, the pointer doesn't move. The dial moves, but the pointer doesn't move.
So when you turn
on a combination lock.
Consider the old mailboxes in the post office. That had a knob with a pointer on it. The numbers were on the face of the faceplate.
Oh, were they?
Yes.
Were they?
The
numbers
typical
stayed stationary,
combination
but the
locks
pointer-
that we're talking about, the numbers are on this moving dial, and
Mhm.
the pointer is fixed.
That's
Oh.
interesting. That's different then, isn't it?
It
Ah,
makes
is.
a difference. That makes it be the opposite.
yeah.
Exactly.
Whichever
it
one
does.
you're thinking of, it's the opposite of the other one.
Yeah.
But if you start at 50, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why I say the guy who created this is very ingenious.
No wonder
Or-
he can
or-
only do 12.
Yeah. Ingenious or lucky.
Well,
No, I
and
think he
the
missed it.
sample. I was
I
going to say
think he missed a trick here. In his data, he's got all kinds of edge situations
does.
for where you want it and weren't you on it to begin
Yep.
with and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And you move exactly 600 clicks, and he's
Mhm.
got all kinds of edge data. But I think he missed on that one.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking his sample data, which is only like 10 elements, it does test, I believe, all the edge cases in just 10 items, which is
Okay.
very, very ingenious.
Can you guys see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
combination lock. Yeah.
Take a look
I
at
mean-
the video I just posted. It shows someone actually moving through the combination.
Let's see. I guess that's
Jim,
Right.
I just posted a link with the actual.
okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at it in just a sec. Yeah.
Right.
So here, obviously, when you turn to the left, the numbers go up.
Yeah.
If you turn to the right, the numbers go down. That's pretty cool. And I don't know if we have an example of a lock on a mailbox lock.
Oh, here it is. No.
These are all.
No, that is isn't it?
I don't know why.
Oh,
it
there
just
it is.
never
There-
occurred to me.
Scroll
The
up,
numbers
Ken.
on the dial.
Yeah, scroll up a couple. If you go
Wolf, what
back,
were you thinking? The numbers are on the dial or on the outer ring?
I never even considered which they were. I guess I just always acted like they were outside the ring, and all the ring was a pointer to
And you're
that
okay.
outside
So
dial.
yeah, so your mental model, you were moving the pointer, and in mine, I was moving the numbers, and we ended up with the correct result either way,
Hmm.
because we started on 50.
yeah,
You've passed 3 mailbox locks.
yeah, you did.
3 that are like
Yep.
this one.
Yeah, right,
One-
right above. Well, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that one, the pointer. Let me. You said there was one above it.
There's one right
There
there.
it is. There it is.
Right
How
there.
to open your Bryant post office box.
That one, you're moving the numbers.
Oh, okay.
No, 2 right.
Go to right.
This
Yeah.
one. Oh, that one's so hard to see though.
I think we're not
But I get
being
the idea.
literal enough. And if I remember right, the advent of code problem was pretty clear and said it was a safe, didn't it?
It was a sage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Safe, rock, whatever. But by starting at 50, you're following symmetry, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So hang on a second now.
Start at
In
fact-
25 and watch what happens.
In fact,
Well, we
the,
changed to 55 and it threw it all off.
Yeah.
the,
Right.
the
Okay, so
advent
let me.
the advent of code problem statement is very clear. The safe has a dial with only an arrow on it. Around the dial are the numbers 0 through
Oh,
99.
Does
in
it say
order.
that? Okay.
That's exactly what it says. I just read it.
Yeah. Okay. So they were
all
very
of
clear
this
about it.
is just us not going back to the original problem. I feel like a consultant dealing with customers now. Sorry.
Yeah.
You like to con and insult people?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Jim. So you were right all along. I just had it wrong. Yeah.
PayPal, how much do we owe you?
Well, what do you mean I was right all along?
I think
Or-
Wolf
or-
was right all
or-
along.
Well,
No.
Wolf had the correct mental model of it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, you
Right.
were double wrong,
And that made it right.
and that made it right.
Okay, well, I get some points for that, don't I?
Yeah.
All right. Any more questions about the Perl version, or should we move on to the next one?
I think we've learned a lot about the nature of this
Yeah.
problem just by talking about it,
Yeah.
the
All right.
mathematical nature of it.
Wolf, you want to go next?
Sure. And you gave permission for anybody to share?
No, of course not. Let me do that right now. I wish there was a way to just make it automatic.
Do you? Wouldn't that be great for the people who barged in?
I can kick them out.
Not before
Okay.
they share their dick pics.
They should
You
have
say
a
that-
list of
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Oh,
Am I in the wrong
All right.
group?
oh. Hmm.
Wolf, you want to do yours?
I'm
You
trying.
should. There you go.
Man, I got a lot of stuff in the way here. Okay, so I made
Same
a,
input file.
I made a big thing. Yeah, you can see my input file looks just like his. Now, I made 3 implementations. I made a tiny one that's in Python. I made one that's maybe acceptable in Rust, that is essentially me thinking in Python and rewriting Python short in Rust.
Yeah, right.
And then I made the version in Python that is, if I were teaching somebody what to do, like, here's everything. Here's how to set up your project. Here's how to have all that stuff. So I feel like maybe you just want me to show you Python short. What do you guys all think?
I think that'd be good. I think.
I would also like the teaching one,
Well,
or at least
okay.
as
I'll
long as it's available.
I will show you Python short, and then
Yeah.
I'll show you what's in Python for teaching. How about that?
that'd be great. That'd be
All
great.
right.
Of
So
course, you got
if
the
I-
same result every time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I go into Python short, it's only a script. That's all there is.
Like mine.
And I'm going
Well,
to
I've got my test data there too, but yeah.
I'm going to edit it. This is the modern way to run Python scripts is you use UV. And UV says, oh, and by the way, you need Python, so it gets Python and treats this as a Python script. Now, even though this is super short, I still tried to do the right stuff. So, for instance, rotation list is a real type. And you can't tell this from what I've written here, but this, like, I can't even select it. This part that says colon, a dict where the keys are strings and the values are ints,
Yeah.
I didn't type that. That's the editor telling me that's what
Oh,
type
that's
it. Right.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And then you can see this dictionary actually is that thing. The string is L, the value is -1, counterclockwise. The string is R, the value is 1, one step clockwise. So I have 2 hunks of code, part 1 and part 2. Whoops. Part 1, the number of times it stops at 0. Part 2, the number of stops at or times it crosses over 0. So how do I get these rotations in? First, whatever you pass in as the argument.
Yeah. Yeah, like me. I passed it on the command line just like you did.
Right.
Certainly
So
the
I'll
syntax
open
is
that
different.
file, I'll read in the lines, every line I'll chop off all the white space, and then my rotations list I'll add on a, and what's this weird double parenthesis shit? That means I'm calling a function, that's the outer set of parentheses, and the thing I'm appending is a tuple. And the tuple is whatever the 0th element is, and then turn an int into everything after the,
Okay.
the 0th element. So
Okay.
if it is L 11111, then the 0th element is the L character, and the whole rest of the line is 1111, and int says turn that string into an int. So I get a tuple that's a string and an int. And remember, my rotations list is a list of tuples with a string and an int. And that string is going to be L or
Sure.
R. So let's look at part 1. This is the number of times I stopped at 0. The dial is 100. We start at 50. We haven't hit 0 yet. So those are my initializations. Rotations is a list of tuples. So if I step over rotations, at each instance of rotations, I get back a tuple. This is me destructuring it. That means pulling it apart into the two values. So direction is a letter L or R, and distance is an int. So my current position is going to change. It's whatever my old position was. And boy, it's kind of hard to... Let's see if I can move. But remember, direction is a letter, either L or R. And this all caps name here, direction, is a dictionary where L means -1 and R means +1. So whatever the distance is, times that number, -1 or +1, so it goes in the correct place. I put parentheses around that whole thing. So my current position adjusted by that move, and then I use the mod operator.
Yeah.
That's what percent is. According to the dial size, which is 100.
Yeah.
That means that the result of this is going to be a positive number. Well, not positive is not correct. It's going to be a number from 0 up to, but not including the dial size. So something between 0 and 99. And that is the new value of current position. And then all I have
operations that doesn't the multiplication take precedence over the plus?
Yeah, you want it to.
I do.
Yeah.
Like I want to go left by 5 or right by 5. So current position plus -5. And then because I put parentheses around this whole thing,
Yeah, then you're doing the
that's
modulo
why
on that.
that's when the mod takes effect.
It's
Mod
not
has
going to
the
do
same.
the direction times distance first?
Yep. Because I'm going to go by -5 or +5.
And isn't direction 1 or a -1?
That's
Yeah.
right. That's how it turns into -5 or +5.
Well, you're looking up the plus or minus 1 in that dictionary called direction.
Right. Imagine
It's a
that
little
instead
confusing
of
'cause you
L
have a-
or R,
Yeah.
instead of L or R, imagine that what I got was plus or minus. R would have been plus.
Yeah.
L would have been minus. And instead of me interpreting L and R using this dictionary that I made, distance was an actual positive or negative
Yeah.
number.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
Yeah.
And then this mod at the end, that just keeps it on the dial.
Yeah, where I did the silly loop where I subtract 100, the faster move is to do a modulo.
Which isn't right in Rust. In Rust, the mod operator will return negative values. And so you have to actually call something special called like remainder, Euc for Euclidean. Anyway, so if the current position was 0, if it ended on 0, then that's one more stop at 0, and all I have to do is return the number of stops at 0. Part 2 is a little harder, because in part 2, it's the same loop, the direction and distance, because it's the same rotations. But this time, instead of me just going there, I'm going to have to, just like Jim, go one click at a time. So for however far you said, distance, I'm going to, and I don't actually care, I don't need this value, so I use underscore, meaning to ignore it. But if the distance is 5, I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That number doesn't matter. All that matters is there's 5 total clicks if distance was 5. So for each click, instead of going -5 or +5, I go -1 or +1. And if the current position after that one click is 0, that's the number of stops at or crosses over 0. This number is strictly bigger than the numbers returned by part 1. So this is the easy version. This is essentially exactly equivalent to what Jim wrote, except I put it in one file instead of 2, and it prints.
And you used modulo, and I did a silly loop to get me back into the correct range.
Right, but in almost all ways, this and Jim's Perl version identical. That is all there is. Now let me show you what is in Python for teaching.
Yeah.
So this is laid out like a UV project. I'm sorry, it is a UV project. So a UV project is not just the source files. It is also a virtual environment that has everything in it. I have an envrc here, which means as soon as I go in, stuff happens. That's a dir-env feature, which I talked about previously. And if I, in fact, cat.envrc, you can see it does things like makes a variable for where my test input is, sets my Python breakpoint, bullshit like that. And it has this pyproject.toml. And this says all kinds of stuff, like what it needs. One thing is, it parses its input. I use Typer for that. It has an entry point. See, day 1 here is secretentrance.app. So I am in here. If I say, whoops, why am I not? If I say day 1, I think I can just say day 1. Dollar. Why am I not doing the right thing? All right. Maybe I haven't set this up right. I don't know why this is different from before, but
Was your path pointing to the current directory? Like, do you need /day1? Yeah, you need /day1.
Did you start your environment?
I just did. You can see it worked. All I
Okay.
had to do was say day 1. So let me show you the files that actually make up the solution. They live in source. There's secret entrance. So ignore these two things. And the main thing that matters is dial.py provides the reusable parts, and solve day 1 provides the not reusable parts. So, for instance, let's just let's open up everything that is not an underscore file. So here's what's in dial.py. This is an object-oriented answer. So dial position is a thing. That way, you don't just pass an int, like that's a type checking error. And that's just to make your life be better. And big comments. And a rotation is something that's inside a dial, because rotation is specific to dials. And it has an enum in it, and that's the right thing. And like an enum can, like I make it print itself in the right way, and you can create one from a string, and essentially it looks busy. It's mostly comments, but all it really is the same code you saw before, but expanded in ways that are more reusable and might be applicable to other solutions built from the same constraints. So this is me really trying to solve the problem. In part 1, you make a dial. The defaults for dial are that it's size 100 and that its starting position is 50. And then, man, I made my screen huge. But all I did was you give it a rotation list, rotations, and this is an this is a comprehension. You have one list. A comprehension turns it into a new list, typically. Rotate returning stop means that this is going to return a brand new list of dial positions. And so given that list of dial positions, the stops, all I have to do is count the number of times that dial position 0 appears in that list. That's essentially what this is about. And I have a couple of weird debugging things in here. That's all. But the main point of the teaching version is to show you how to put together a big project. And one thing I did was I actually integrated IPython into this, and it automatically imports everything that I care about. So I could make a brand new dial. Oh. From
Is it the fact that you capitalize it?
No, that was the right thing to do. So, like here I am in IPython. I made a dial. It starts at position 50. It has size 100. I could say, hey dial, so there's rotate, and you can see rotate takes a rotation. And let's say left 10 is the rotation. I could have made a full one, but so now I've rotated dial and it's at 40. I will really quick. That was not what I wanted. Sorry. Rust is not unlike the UV project. It has a source directory. And there's the Rust file. And I made a thing that is a rotation. Direction is, it's an I-32. That means that it's signed. So it turns out it's just going to be, excuse me, -1 or 1. And distance is just like before. And here you can see me reading in. So I have a string, is what this is. And it's going to return essentially what Python would call a list of rotations. And it does that by basically turning it all into lines, skipping empty ones for each line, trying to parse out an L or an R and then a number, and from that building a rotation out of it and returning that rotation, and then collecting all those rotations into a list. That's just the way Rust works. And then what main does is whatever file you give it, it opens that file and reads it into a string, and then parses all those rotations, and now it has rotations, and then now it's just the prints. It calls part 1 on those rotations, and then part 2 on those rotations. And part 1 is, they're already rotations. This is the magical Rust notation for you've got some, but you don't own them. And then for each rotation in that list, do the exact same math that I did in the Python program. Exactly the same. Except that I can't use the %sign. I have to say this remainder Euclid thing, because the %sign in Rust doesn't do the thing that as a Python programmer I think of as right.
Yeah, Perl does the same thing with %. It works correctly.
Yeah, and then you can see I have to do the exact same thing in part 2. That's all. And
cool.
that concludes my work.
Nice. And we've got this in the Mug repository.
That is right.
And I'll include a link. In fact, I'll do that right now. So who wants to go next? I think we got Jay, and we got Jim Peterson, and we got Dave.
Either way, I can go now, or Jay can go.
I'll go real fast.
Okay.
Because mine is not much different than any of yours. See, how do I... There we go. Can you see my window?
I see it.
All right. Mine is in Go. To start, I'm going to show you my test setup. So I wrote mine using 2 tests. So I can call the same part1 function using either an opened file that has the given input or the example input. And my example input is just hard-coded here. There's some fun things there, like treating this string constant or the string literal like a file by using the strings reader. That's a Go thing that we use sometimes. Other than that, all we do is pass that reader to this part function. And pretty much exactly like everyone else did. I have a
Mhm.
dial that starts at 50. My counter starts at 0. I have some direction. I start scanning the lines. I don't even parse my lines. I just read right into the bytes. Was that first byte an L or an R? Was the rest of that line an integer? If it wasn't, I just skip it because it must be garbage data. Then I call this rotate dial given my dial. And down here is my rotate dial function that just changes the state of my dial, right? So my dials, which is pretty much what everyone did. I just happen to write a function for it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Is there any
That's it.
questions before I move on to part 2?
I think it looks great.
I left my debugging in here because I wanted everyone to see that I needed those debugging lines, right? I just commented them out.
Mhm.
So part 2, and for whatever reason, no good reason, I just made part 2. I think my test is almost exactly the same, or is exactly the same. I just call part 2 instead. And then
Oh,
I
you did it
changed
as a
this.
different branch?
Yeah, I did for no
Yeah,
reason
okay.
whatsoever. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
tagged it differently.
Sure.
And again, like my rotating of the dial function, did it change? Yeah, I suppose it did change because now I had to count every time I stopped. So I added
Yeah.
this, I'm returning 2 values now. Kind of like a Python tuple, but not really because this
Mhm.
is a built-in Go thing. And I did things a little differently. I tried to count how many times it was.
Oh, you did math.
I did math. Yeah, I did.
Nice. Like I looked at the math and I thought to myself, well, that's probably hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could maybe do
I
it.
did.
And maybe
fact-
that wouldn't save, I don't know.
I had lots of like because this was for my own learning and stuff. I left my bad tries, and you can even see here. This was Gemini getting it wrong, so Gemini couldn't do it. This was Claude getting it wrong, and then finally I got something working. This one
Nice.
actually worked. So,
Nice.
but it's really the same exact approach as everyone else.
Yeah. Very nice. You'll send me your source code?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll send
Yeah,
a
that'd be
PR.
great.
I don't think I
Okay,
have
great.
this.
Great. That's nice.
Oh, I guess I do. What is my remote? Oh, well, there it is. I'll send you that right now.
Super. Super.
Let me.
So who's next? Dave?
Yeah. So what do I want to share here? I want to share my whole screens. Okay, allow. So let's just go to part B here. We've done part A enough times. Am I coming through? I got the sound on?
Yeah, I hear.
Okay. I'd like to point out that a couple things that we haven't been talking about much here. And one is that it was important to read those instructions more carefully than I did.
Yeah.
Because we had a number of mistakes here in how we read the assignment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of important when you're writing a program, right? So how do this is too small, right?
Yeah. Can you Command plus should increase the font size. There you go.
Okay, is that big enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine for me.
So this is done in just a Vim editor and running Swift from the command line. And, I also did one to make it an app, but I don't know if we'll get to that or not. And let's start up here on line 1. I'm getting the input arguments from command line arguments. Drop first. I think that was the program name. If you had to do that, and the file name is, then you passed it in, and that's the way you do that in. Well, that's the way you can do that in Swift. They have a whole ecosystem for managing command line arguments, and that's all that I used of it. Then, in order to get yourself to a spot where you can use that, you have to turn the contents into, with the contents of file, and you have to tell it what your encoding thing is, because they're making room for the rest of the world that doesn't use just our alphabet here. It's real nice of them, I guess. And then you have to split out the lines with the new line, and so you wind up with a variable that is a list. It's the contents of splitting out the entire file. Now, maybe we can discuss this later, but it always seems to me like this is reading the entire file into a variable, which works for a couple hundred lines. But what if it was 20 million lines?
Sure.
Or,
you'd want
220 million lines or something like that. There's got to be a way to just read it line by line.
You'd want to get more RAM.
Come across that. So I started off, I wanted to, because this is the part B, and I did it with the math version first. And I was having a lot of trouble with it. So I have a line counter here, a starting position. I kept calculating the end position, and then put for each iteration, you recalculated the starting position. And I calculated a couple things: the times it landed on 0, and then the total number of times it went past 0. I also counted the ones that passed 0 going right and the ones past 0 going left. And I don't know why I had a separate variable for answer in there. And that probably wasn't necessary. I could just added them and printed them out. Now, I had a lot of trouble getting the math logic of this right in talking with Jim on it last Saturday, and he said he did it click by click. The only way I could get my logic right on that is I also implemented a click by click run through this. And so I added these same variables doing it click by click. And what I did then is compared the results at each stage, at each move, and at each line, and figured out where I had it wrong. And eventually that's what got it.
Then you got your math right?
That's what got the math right. I did not get the math right without doing that. Well, whenever they were off, then I'd figure out what was on, or what the reason for being off was. So in Swift, one of the iterations is for line, for whatever in your list here, and so this is for line and lines. I count the lines that I'm using. I got the first character, which is the first of the line, and if there's something wrong, I put it in an X.
If it's null,
kind of
you'll get X.
Yeah, kind of a half-baked error catching mechanism. It's if you're doing this in a professional way, you probably want something a lot more robust than this. And then there's a function of drop first on that line, and I took the integer of the last characters. I put that into a variable that could be consolidated into one line. And so now I still have the debugging things in here. give myself a space, print out the line and the line count. And here we go. If the first character is L, then I've got it moving. I got the end position, it was our starting position plus the move. So I think I'm going backwards on this, aren't I? I think because I had done this, and I actually I had it wrong for both the reasons at first. Finally changed that one, and anyhow, that's I calculated an end position. My debugging prints it out, and this is the print statement. One of the ways you can do a print statement in Swift is this is all one big string here, and then you can put out the contents of a variable by starting with a slash and putting in parentheses in the variable name. And so going left, here's part of the logic. If the end position is greater than 0, then the number of times past 0 is the int of the end position divided by 100. Is that right? Right. So, you know, if it's 300 or 500 or something like that, that will give us the number of times we went past 0. But then there's some corrections that have to be made for that, and that is that, and this is a modulo function in Swift. If it ends on 0, then we didn't go past 0, even though this line here would have said we did.
Right. So you got an edge case.
If the start position is 0 and the move modulo 100 is greater than 0, then the past 0 is also -1 because we started on 0. And so, and this was a past 0 just on this, within this set here, because I said it, I wasn't incrementing it there. I am incrementing the past 0 going left times, and then printed out some debugging statements. One is that this is where I had changed the value. And then it said if the end position is 0, the on 0 is +1. And then set the, if it's on, always in this case here, within this block, I'm setting the end position to 0. Did I reset the end position up there to, I guess I didn't do that yet. That comes down later. Going the other way, the logic is just a little different in that if we're past 0 and if the end position is 0, these conditions are a little bit different. And again, I'm adding up the number of times we went past 0 going right and calculate out the end position. And I needed some, if the end position is 0, okay, so this is, yeah, going right. The end position is 0, then the on 0 is gets added. And that should be the same as the logic up here, I think. Yes, it is. And, you know, one little bit of, in case it's not a right or a left, you know, to print out something. And here here I reset the end position modulo 100.
To make sure it's in range.
Make sure it's in range. And again, a debugging statement. Now, so this is what I did. In order, this logic here went through a number of iterations of those if statements. And so I did it, I called it on click. And I just went through it click by click adding up the number of times it was on zero.
Okay, so this is the second way of doing.
That's the second way of doing it. I put it
Yeah,
right in.
cool.
And but what I also did there is put in if they were different, print out a position error.
Nice.
If the on zero clicks were different, print out an error message. If the right or left was not equal, print out an error message. And I had some notes here, and you can see it. My first attempt here, I gave it to them, and they said it was too high, and then they said it was too low, and that was my answer because all our data is different.
Yeah.
So,
so can you run it?
Yep. Let me see. Do I have? Okay. And Apple. Now you can't see the command line. I must have the run in a different one. Hang on here. Well. So that actually put out a whole lot of
sure
of lines, but in order to get this and get myself through this with this debugging method, and let's do this here. Let's go back in the code and we'll take out one of these corrections. Let's take out this one here. And now if we run it, but I'm going to output that to a and look for error. And so we had gotten here to line 103 when we said write 293 from a starting position of 93. We went and without that, it
missed the fact that you're on zero.
Yeah, it wasn't correct, and that's what it took me to get through and get the calculation right on it. I had to use your method in order to validate it line by line. But I'd like to point out one thing. I use debuggers and I have used many debuggers, and I love debuggers and stuff like that. For this kind of thing, putting out a log like this where you can line by line and look through it instead of having to run through the debugger over and over again and get to that spot is much better for me.
Sure, but in the debugger,
I wind up reverting to that, and then also this thing about putting it in a file and then editing the file, and so you can go more easily back and forth and search for
Sure.
things. And it is
Sure.
is worked
Sure.
for me over the years too.
In the debugger, you could have set a watch point. So basically, anytime they don't
Right.
agree, break.
Right. You
But
could have done that, right?
but yeah, for quick and dirty, a log file is a great way to go.
But it does leave a problem, and that is now debugging code is in the program, and in order to release stuff to production, unless I'm the
Sure.
only one involved in it, you usually have to take that stuff out. And certainly you'd have to comment out all these prints. You can't leave that into production code. You can put some conditions around it, so you either have debugging on or you have it off, where you don't
Sure.
have to go through and diddle the file every time.
Sure.
But a lot of times you really sort of want that code in there, because somebody sometime is going to have to come out and something's going to change and you're going to have to do this all again. I don't know, maybe that you're just putting some print statements in,
Sure.
that's not all that difficult.
Sure.
But whether you
Sure.
put your testing debugging code in and leave it in the production code or not can be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Very nice. If you want to send me that code, we can
I'll do that.
get it into the repo. Who's next? Jim Peterson, did you have one?
I do have it. It's locked up on a machine that's not currently running, but I will describe. I'm going to do a pull request to get into the GitHub, so
Okay, great.
people can look at
Great.
it later. But I will describe. I used the math method that basically that Dave used, and in Python, and the edge cases get messy. So in this type
Yeah.
of problem, it may be, if you're doing this for a production system, you don't know whether you got all the edge cases or not unless
Right.
you carefully craft a test file. So
Sure.
it might be better just to do the click simulation method, where you just go one by one.
Well, if performance is an issue,
Right. That's yeah.
you would want to do math.
Yeah, but it
But
does get very messy. I was able to get by with less checks than Dave did for the edge cases, but still there were some kind of messy checks
yeah.
that had to be done.
Well, I'm going to take a look at Jay's solution, how he did it with the math, when I can sit down and just examine it at my pace, because I want to see how he did it. Anybody else? Nobody? Okay. Well, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I was going.
Bill, you got one?
No, I don't have one now because I didn't do any in advance, but I'm going to go through and solve all 12 days.
Oh, good.
And then I will send you the link to my GitHub repository for it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be written in Go. I'm going to use
Okay.
some of the interesting techniques. For example, on the first one, where day 1 and day 2, we got the 2 different counts. I'm going to
Yeah.
have Go routines that I just feed data to into those.
I can't hear you.
I said I was going to, since day 1 and day 2, you're just counting different things, but using the
Right.
same data file. I'm going to basically have a stream that reads the data file, converts it to a positive or negative number, and pass it to 2 separate Go routines to do those counts.
Oh, cool.
So I'll do it in
Yeah.
parallel.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that.
And the other ones, I haven't looked at the other problems yet, but I will go through and do those.
Cool. Cool. Yeah,
And
if you can send us a pull request, we can integrate that into ours. Although
Okay.
you'd have to do a checkout of ours or a clone of ours first, right? I'm not big on pull requests like some of you guys are.
But I'll have it in a repository on GitHub, and I'll send you the link to the
Okay.
repository.
Yeah, send us the link and then we can go look at it. That's cool. That's very cool. Anybody else?
So, Jim,
Yeah.
I did a COBOL version.
I was just going to ask because you did that last year. Okay, now wait a minute. Did you do the COBOL or did you ask AI to do it?
No, I asked AI, Gemini AI.
Yeah.
I'm not even following the conversation. I don't even know what the problem is, but somehow Gemini AI came up with a solution. You want to
Okay.
take a peek at this? Me,
Sure.
if I can share my code. Let's see.
Sure. Classic
Well,
AI. You're not sure what the problem was,
yeah. So,
but you asked AI to solve it.
okay, so here's just the beginning of the COBOL program,
Oh, yeah.
identification division, da 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 da. You really want to know is so
Brings
I
back
don't know.
bad memories.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Unstring. Oh yeah. COBOL's method of pulling stuff out of a string.
So I don't know if any of that. I mean, you've gone through the logic several times in different
Yeah.
languages. This should be either clear that it's doing something you recognize, or
That's cool.
it's not. So
Yeah.
that was it. That's all I wanted to share.
Okay, send it to us so we can
All right.
get it. Put it on the discuss list. I guess we can
What
incorporate
compiler
it
are you
into
using
the.
for it?
What's that?
What COBOL compiler are you using for that?
We can't. You're kind of muffled, Bill.
Oh, what COBOL compiler are you using?
Well, so I haven't even compiled it. I was trying to. I haven't used the Linux for a while yet, and so I was trying to get the VirtualBox to work, and
Okay.
I'm having trouble learning how to paste into the VirtualBox to get the source code in, and so I'm dredging my way through all that. Maybe I won't even.
If you are using VirtualBox, you can have a folder that you can share between the VirtualBox and your machine.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Going back, 10 years, I can remember doing some of that before, but I just haven't got that fresh in my mind. So yeah, I'll take a look at posting this wherever you said to post it. Was that instructions in our bug.org site or something?
I think I said send us a pull request, but if you want to just email it to discuss, we'll grab it and
all right,
stick it in.
All right,
cool.
Perfect.
Wow, some good contributions. It was a lot of fun. I guess so. That's it for this meeting. Thanks everybody for coming. Next meeting, April 14th, we have the elections. We have and we have me talking about containers. So that should be a lot of fun.
Which is
I think so.
exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you want to learn about containers, you can go check out our podcast, runtimearguments.fm. The latest episode, number 23, is about containers. And I'm going to paste something here. If any of you are on Hacker News, if you have an account on Hacker News and you're inclined to upvote things, I'm not supposed to solicit upvotes.
So don't just say consider our entry, and if you like it, then do what you like.
Yeah, I posted the link in the chat thing there, so you can go there, log in, and upvote it if you're so inclined.
I have some news I'm super excited to share.
Oh yeah.
Today, let's say this, Wednesday of last week, everyone at my company used Windows. That was our development platform. Today, everyone except one person uses Windows. I use Ubuntu.
There you go. So wait a minute. The argument about giving you a new laptop was, well, if we give you a new laptop, we got to give everybody a new laptop.
Right. So instead, they gave me something no one else would want.
I see.
Well, here, have measles.
Smart people would want it.
Right.
But that's excellent. It's got to be a joy to use that instead of Windows for what you're doing.
Well, I do have to set it up. I have to put my SSH keys and all that stuff on it.
Right. But that's very cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so guys, thanks for showing up. That was a lot of fun. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys April 14th.
Take care, everybody. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Later. Bye.